Are we live? Are you guys there? Oh, okay, well, here goes. Hi! Hi, Youth Live fam, I'm Kuya Josh, and um, today's another Monday Night Live, and we're going to be talking about the question. I mean, your votes have spoken. You guys have voted on the Youth Live fan group. If you're not part of the fan group yet, I suggest you hop on to the Facebook page. The Youth Live fan. And if you're new here, I just want to welcome you. So again, I'm Kuya Josh. On behalf of Youth Live, on behalf of GCF, I just want to say good evening and welcome to Monday Night Live. Today we are going to talk about the question, is it wrong to have cliques? Is that the question? Can someone raise that question up if that's correct? Yo, okay, wait. Hold on. Okay, I think we are troubleshooting some stuff. Okay, there's no video right now, but I think you can hear my voice. So I just want to say hi. Um, what's up? Okay, while we are troubleshooting right now. If you can leave a comment, say hi, drop by and say hi, write a comment. Also, I'll be doing a sort of Q&A, question and answer. So if you want to ask some questions and you want me to answer them, I'll try my best. I'm not an expert, but yeah, I think it's up. Is it up? Okay. Hi. Okay, so I'll start from the top. Hi, I'm Kuya Josh, and I'm part of the GCF Youth Live fan, and I want to welcome you. And today we're going to talk about the topic, is it wrong to have cliques? Now I prepared some slides here, some pictures. Basically, I'm gonna embarrass myself, and I'm gonna embarrass some people, some of the other youth leaders you might know if you attend GCF Youth Live also. Okay, I'm gonna show some really old pictures, but well, woo! Okay, but first, let's ask the question, what are cliques? Cliques. Okay, what are cliques? Well, according to the dictionary, I just researched a while ago. I typed cliques on Google and then I searched, and then it said cliques are actually let me search. Okay, what are cliques? Kuya Josh, what are cliques? According to the dictionary, cliques are, okay, there we go. A clique is a group of individuals who interact with one another and share similar interests. So basically, it's a group of people who do the same thing together, who like the same interests, and who become a sort of group. And I'm sure you guys already know sort of what these cliques are. I mean, you watch TV, you watch movies, you watch movies about high school students, youth just like you, and then you see them hanging out in groups. The athletes are over here, the nerds are over here, the popular girls are over here, and I don't know, it's something natural, I guess. When you grow up, you want to be part of a clique, you want to be part of a group, you want to feel like you belong. Okay, so I guess that's a sort of, again, I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert on sociology or all of these. But what I can share to you guys today is my experience on what cliques are and how I experienced them growing up. And then we are going to answer that question. We go back. Are cliques bad, or are cliques wrong to have? Or is it bad to join a clique, or is it bad to be part of a clique? We can go back to the question. Again, if you have any questions, type, send a comment, and then I'll try to answer them later. Okay. Right, so the first picture that I'll show to embarrass myself. Woo! I'm doing this for you guys, okay? Okay. Back then, oh yeah, okay, before that, who here can guess how long I've been here in the youth ministry? Who here can guess how long I've been in the youth ministry? Would anybody know? Oh, okay, wait. There are comments here. Hi, yay. Who here can guess? Come on. Who here can guess how many years? Okay, just type a guess. Year. I want to say I've been in youth only since 2015, but that's not true. Okay. I've been in youth much, much, much longer. Wow. Who here can guess? Any guesses? Okay, I'm just gonna show you, okay, one of the first pictures I've had when I went to my first ever youth camp. So if you've been to youth camp, you know the drill, you know what happens there. For those who do not know what youth camp is, it's a gathering we come to every year, and then we learn about the Lord, and we share moments with each other. We hang out with each other for 4 days and 3 nights. But this is a picture of me back then. Do you guys see? Yeah. Oh, I have to move. Do you guys see the okay? So this year was taken in 2007. So 2007 was my very first year in youth life, and I am sorry. Where's my? Yeah, I'm the guy right here, third from the left. Is that really me? Okay. Yeah. So there was a joke back then that when I started out in youth, I am the guy who brings and wears polos in youth camp. So that's me wearing a polo when it's very hot, and I'm wearing that, wearing a cap, and I'm wearing all of these. Wow. So this is the very first time that I've experienced high school life. I mean, before then I was grade school. I was a grade school student from grade 1 to grade 6. And then I entered high school, and then I found out about the GCF also had a youth thing going on for high schoolers all the way up to college. So I entered, and then this is what I experienced. Back then, there was only one youth camp for 200, 100, I think 100 youth, 100 to 200 youth. It was very small back then, and that was joint high school and college. So there was only one big camp. And the very first thing that I experienced was, wow, there are so many people and so many groups. And I did not feel like I belonged. Actually, honestly, I felt like I was out of place. I felt like I was wearing a polo when everybody else was wearing t-shirts and slippers, and I was wearing the whole polo pants, shoes, get up. I was even wearing a cap. I think, is that a cap? Wow, is that really me? Oh my. Yeah, that's my very first youth camp, and my very first experience of what cliques are. Okay, you see, back then in the day, there was this group of talented musicians, and they're really good, and then they can just play anything. You give them a song and they'll play anything. And then there's this other group, the artists. So they're the ones who can draw really well, and those who can come up with really cool promos and ideas. And then there was this other group of very intellectual, philosophical people. They would debate all the time. And then here comes me. I was a science nerd. And sadly, well, I don't know, but back then I did not have any other science person to be with or to relate with. And it was really hard. And that's the first time I experienced all these different kinds of cliques. Okay? So cliques are okay. I just want to say that cliques are not bad. It's not a bad thing. But it can be very scary to somebody who's coming in for the first time. So if you've also had that experience, you come into youth or you come into school, you go into school for the first time, and then you feel like, wow, you feel so intimidated, and then you also feel sort of alone. I can relate with you guys because that's what I experienced my first year in youth camp. Can I just remove this picture? I'm already embarrassed by it. Yeah, I'm gonna remove the picture. Okay. Okay. Right. So comments. How do you tag? Okay. The slipper game is strong. Wow. Yes, I am wearing slippers right now because I don't need to wear shoes at the moment. Uh, all right. So cliques. What are cliques? These are groups of people, and you have the same interest. Okay. So let's say, for example, you guys are interested in playing a game called Minecraft. I love Minecraft. Okay. Minecraft is a game where you play and you put blocks of stuff and then you build houses, you build machines and everything, all in the same world. So I found a group of friends or a group of people who also like Minecraft. So we come together and we come online and then bam, we're a click. So it's something as simple as that, but it also can be you go into school and then you're one of the cool kids, the jocks, okay, the athletes. Okay, you're one of those people, and then all the girls like you. Back then in the day when I entered youth, there was a clique where you dated more than one girl, and then you're part of that clique. And then me, I was very awkward. I couldn't even date anybody. So it's really hard to get inside a clique once it's already established. And is it a bad thing? Not necessarily. I mean, of course, when you find a group of people that you are close to, that you're best friends with, of course, you're gonna relate so much. But then sometimes you start relating to each other too much and hanging out only with each other, that sometimes new people come in, maybe like me back then. New people come in and then they try to find a home and try to find a place. But because you guys are so close already, it's awkward to let people in. Those things. So those are the other sides of what cliques can do. Again, I'm saying cliques are not bad, cliques are not wrong. Okay? But sometimes if we do not check what we do in our cliques, we can actually we can actually communicate to other people that no, we don't want to be friends with you. No, we're good on our own. Okay? So I guess we go back to those kinds of questions. We have to go back to those. So I prepared some questions that I can answer. But again, if you have any questions, you can type your questions. I will try to answer them when I read the comments later. Okay. All right. So, well, I guess first one, what are the benefits of being part of a clique? Benefits. What are the good things that can happen? One is you don't have to face high school alone. And I'll show another embarrassing picture of me back then in the day. Okay, this is actually we took this picture already when we graduated. Okay, but back then I had a group in high school. We called ourselves the Joe Gang because all our names started with J. Okay. I'm sorry. I think I'm blocking. Yeah, I think I was blocked by my own picture. Okay, we called ourselves the Joe Gang. All our names started with J, and then except this guy, his name started with a C, but he wanted to join us. Okay, but basically we were just a group of people who, I don't know, you could call us the geeks of the. I mean, we knew a lot of geek stuff and pop culture references and all those. And we hung out together a lot. Okay. So what are the benefits? Well, number one benefit is you won't go through high school alone, or you won't go through your school alone. Okay? You're gonna have a group that you can come to, that you can be open with, that you can hang out with. So that's a good thing of being part of a clique. Okay? Those are the benefits. And maybe later on you're gonna find out that you come back to these people and then you haven't talked for 5 years, and then suddenly you catch up with one of them, and then wow, it's as if you never lost touch. It's as if, wow, okay, I can just come back and then we can just hang out again like before. No, it's those are the good things that can come out. You get friends that can last a lifetime. Guess here's another picture of one of the cliques that I formed. Again, back in the day when I entered youth, I didn't feel like I was welcome. I didn't feel like I belonged because everybody was too cool and all. So I had one of my Sunday school teachers. So Sunday school is something that happens every where we teach children, we teach kids. One of my teachers back then, Teacher Carol, she told me, "Hey, you're going to teach the grade 4 class." I'm like, "What? Why would I teach the grade 4 class right now?" So what happened was I got this group, you know, I actually pulled them. I said, "Come teach with me." So if you guys were my students back then, I actually have quite a number of students in the youth. One of my first students was Rainiel. If you know Rainiel, he's my first. He's the one that I remember was in the very first grade 4 class that I taught. And then my last student was Tanya. So yeah, I've had a lot of, and this group, it was this group that I taught, I did my ministry with. So every Sunday, I attended Y groups, but I was a bit shy. So after Y groups, I run to this group and then we start teaching together. So a benefit also of a clique is you get to do something productive, or you get to do something good together. You get to teach other people. You get to share your beliefs. You get to share your responsibilities together, and you get to experience life together. So yeah, this is wow. Yeah, if you guys know the guy in the middle, Ren, okay, he also attended Youth Live a lot. Yeah, so those are the benefits of being part of a clique. Now, okay, I'm going to read comments. Is that Josh Tan on the far right? No, the from the picture a while ago, that was his brother. Yeah, Josh Tan is a brother, guys. Wow, 30 years. Grabe naman. 99 years in youth. Come on, guys. I said 2007, so 2007 is just 13 years ago. Only 13 years, guys. I'm not that old. Teacher Carol, the real OG. Yes, if you guys remember Teacher Carol. Yeah. Okay. So wow. So I guess those are the benefits of being part of a clique. Now, um, growing up, all of us want. I guess all of us. Let's admit it. All of us want to fit in. We want to belong. So cliques provide us that space to fit in. So if you're part of a clique and you're part of a group, and then kayo-kayo lang, and you're just hanging out with each other, you feel like, wow, I feel special because I'm with this group forever. Okay? So, but again, let's switch over. What are the downsides also to having a clique? Okay? And then downsides of having a clique could be, okay, right, let me change this picture. I'm gonna change that picture. Okay, downsides to having a clique are that, well, first, it's what you call peer pressure. Now, when you're part of a clique, the peer pressure is so strong. Why? Because you're finally belonging with a group, but then suddenly your group wants to do a certain thing, your group wants to act a certain way, and then even if you're not that kind of person, you're going to act like that also. Like back then in high school, I was also imagine UP Diliman, but it's a high school. So that was the culture of my school. I studied in a science high school, so it's very secular and very woke actually. So back then uh, we experience all of these. Uh, how do you say? Basically, everything that you experience in college, in UP, we already experienced at a very young age back then. The pressure and then the pressure to conform. Back then, if you did not use a cuss word in every sentence, you're not cool. So guess what I did? Of course, that's where I learned how to swear. That's where I learned how to use words. When I played with my friends, I'm sure you guys know, most of you guys know, back then Dota was very Dota 1. Wow, I'm so old. Okay, so that was very popular back then, and the culture it's really like that. When you enter a game and then you're playing or Counter Strike 1.6, nah, or before Counter Strike Source, we were playing 1.3 and 1.6. Okay. But back then, the culture was when you get in a game together, you're going to use all the words that you know off the top of your head. Trash talk. You know, I'm not the kind of person to trash talk, but for some reason, I had to so that I would be cool. Those are the downsides of being part of a clique. You get pressured into being someone you're not. And I was pressured a lot to be someone that I was not. And then later on, I became the person that I was not. So sometimes, if you do not, if you worship your clique, or if you will do everything to be part of that clique, you'll find yourselves compromising a lot of the things that you personally believe in. So again, when you are cliques wrong? No, but cliques are very prone to peer pressure. And I'm sure some of you are part of those groups or want to be part of a group. You will try to be someone you're not. Again, do not. Well, I would suggest is that you do not try to conform to what other people say you should be or say you should do. Don't conform, but be who you are, and you'll really find the true friends that will stick out their necks for you. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna read comments. Yeah, we're gonna have like a comment break. GCF clique of people who grew up in GCF and their reunions, and then there are people who just joined late and have no clue. Yeah, there's also that kind of clique where these are the 7-year youth life on committed goers, attendees, and then they know all the inside jokes. That's another downside also, is that when you're part of a clique, you get a lot of inside jokes that you start sharing to one another, and it's okay, it's fun to have inside jokes. But people who just joined in, or people who just came in, they'll be wondering, what does that mean? Or, and then they start feeling left out because they don't understand the joke. Yung mga hugot, you know, all of those comments that you share with each other, sly comments. Okay? That's another downside of being part of a clique. Or rather, trying to join a clique when you're new. Okay? So some of you are also newly experiencing all of this and newly experiencing the different groups there are. And honestly, it's really hard. It's really hard, especially if you're not, if you don't share the same interest. Okay. Back then, my fear was that I felt like I was too boring and I was not cool. So if you also experience those, then you're not alone. I'm sure a lot of us experience that as well. Okay, question. What would you say? So Mikey shared a question. What would you say to someone who feels like they don't really have any friends in their youth ministry or feels left out? What would I say to someone? Well, before I speak to that someone, I'm gonna speak first to the youth ministry, which is some of you in watching this live stream. My question, or what I would say to the youth ministry is, why are you allowing people to feel this way? And I mean, the mission or the heart of what our Youth Life family should be is to be an open and welcoming community for people to come and not feel like this. But granted, we're also all growing up. So I guess the question is, okay, I guess the question is, how can we, as different people with different interests and different groups of friends, work together to become a community that welcomes people? So that's a challenge for all of us. Now, what would I say to someone who feels like they don't have friends? Well, if I'm the person who would notice that they don't have friends, I'm gonna try to do my best to hang out with them. I mean, uh, it, I don't think defending your clique or defending your ministry or your youth is a. I don't think it's worth it to defend something that already failed them. Okay? But the best way to reach out to someone who feels left out is to actually reach out to them. Okay? So can I challenge all of you, if you know somebody who is left out, or you know somebody who hasn't been approached or is not part of a group or does not have a group, I challenge you or your clique to be the ones to reach out to that person. That's a challenge for all of you. 10. How can we as a youth community reach out to those who used to attend church but chose to leave because of cliques and they felt left out? Again, there's not much we can do. There's not much we can do to defend the actions of what happened before. I mean, we cannot justify, because when somebody's hurt, they were really hurt, and most of the time, it might be us who have hurt them. It might even be the church who hurt them. Okay? So there's no point in justifying. First, apologize, and then just invite them to come back and see how it has changed. Well, if it hasn't changed for them, then we have to work harder to change, to be accommodating for those who left. But don't stop reaching out to friends just because they left. Try your best to reach out to them, to talk to them, be their friend, even if they don't want to be part of the gang. That's okay. You don't have to force them, and you don't have to force yourself also. But being the friend that they need at the right time is the best thing that they need right now. So it's growing up. Cliques are natural. We don't want that to happen. We don't want cliquishness to happen. We don't want people left out. But sometimes it's a natural thing. So all we can do is apologize. All we can do is continue to reach out. Always be better than before, and always reach out more. Okay. All right. So I guess I can go to one of the questions that I've prepared. So, can Y groups be considered as cliques? Can Y groups be considered as cliques? And because of that, I prepared a picture of my Y group. My Y group eating out. It looks pretty small. Sorry, but my Y group leader back then, when I was still in youth, is Kuya Dags, so he's over there. So that's us eating a buffet. I think it was sponsored by Kuya Dags, if I remember correctly. And then this is us. We grew up, and then we were, wow. So when I started in 2007, I joined that group, and then I've always been with that group until we grew up, and then we already graduated from the youth. So can Y groups be considered a clique? Pwede. But I'm gonna answer another question in relation to this. It's that, can you still feel left out even if you're in a clique? And the answer is yes. Because that's also how I felt. I was part of a Y group, but I felt I felt like my problems were different from theirs. When they share, uh, most of them are successful with relationships back then. Me, I'm not good with girls. I'm not good with relationships, so I didn't have any dates to talk about. So it's a um, at some points I felt left out even while I was inside that white group. So they were used to a certain culture. They were the more popular people in youth life back then, and I was, uh, yun nga, because I did not feel that at home with youth life. I went and did children's ministry uh, mostly. I did not really help out in youth life or any of those ministries. So even ministries can feel like a clique. Even ministries can be a clique. Well, I'll show you one more example of a clique that I've had. Who here knows this? Oh, okay. Sorry, I was just alerted that. Am I still on? Am I still on? Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna proceed. Okay. So who here knows this group? If you guys remember this group, look for me. I am the third on the left. Yeah, the third on the left. If you know Kuya Gian, the guitarist, he's the one on the top, the second guy on the top, with the long hair. Wow, yeah. There's Charity, there's Bethel. That's a group. There's my brother and my sister. You see Gabby? Gabby's here. Spiky hair. And then my sister's there. And we're all doing this because back then we were called Band 2. So back then in the worship team we had 4 bands. And then it sort of became a battle of the cliques. You know, our bands became cliques because si Band 2 had a certain sound. We love Gongor music, and we lead worship with Gongor music. And then we have we have other bands that I also joined. This band, I think this is Band 3. Yes, I think this is Band 3. And then you see Ate SJ is in the middle. Ate Jess Orleans. Wow, these are I don't know if you know most of these people still, okay? But this is also Band 3, and then this is, and I'm also part of Band 4. I don't know. Do I have a picture of Band 4? No, I don't have a picture of Band 4, but all of these different bands, 1, 2, 3, 4, we sort of had this competition thing going on where we wanted to play better than the other band, and then perform better than the other band. And then we started stealing members from each other. You know, it was very sad because it's supposed to be a ministry. It's supposed to be for the Lord, and yet because of our intense passion for music and for giving really good music, we subconsciously started competing with each other and comparing ourselves with each other. So if you do not handle your cliques well or your interaction within your cliques, you might end up even turning a ministry or something for the Lord into something that is human-centered, or something that you use to compare to other people or to other groups. Okay? So my encouragement for you guys is don't turn your ministry into a clique. Back then, we also had the worship team versus fellowship team. We had the worship team clique. They're all the maangas, cool people who can play really well. And we have the fellowship team clique back then. Because we couldn't play music, we would join the fellowship team. Okay. So it's unhealthy if you think of ministries that way. Because all ministries are important, and all ministries are can be means to glorify God. So don't turn your ministries into cliques. I'm gonna read some questions. What if it's usually hard for me to interact with new people because I'm shy and they might feel left out because of my actions? How can I address that? Hey, Alanis asked the question. How can I address that? Okay, I'm gonna remove the picture first. Okay, sorry. Um, all right. So what if you yourself are the one that is shy to approach new people? Well, again, before I answer that, I'm gonna bring it back to the people who you want to join. I'm gonna first talk to all the cliques out there and all of the groups out there. Okay. Um, if you are part of a group or if you're part of a clique and you notice again people who have a hard time joining one, I encourage you guys to open up your clique every once in a while. You know, invite more people to experience it with you. You know, if you have a common interest like games, you could invite them to a game night. You could invite them to food. Everybody loves food. A food trip with each other. So I'm gonna talk to the cliques first and then say, can you be the ones to open up and be more inviting to each other? So these cliques are good, but we can remove cliquishness. Cliquishness is the feeling that the groups are so closed already. Okay, let's be more open and let's start bringing the cliques interacting with one another. Okay. So again, back to you. What are the what if you're the one who's shy? And that's something I personally experienced. I was the quintessential shy guy. So thumbs up if you also if you like me. Right after youth service, you leave the auditorium right away, and then you go home, you go to your family, and you don't interact with other youth anymore. That's me from 2007 to 2012. 5 years I was attending youth ministry. I just come in, I attend the worship, and then I leave. I leave alone. I don't have a group. I don't have people I hang out with. On Youth Saturday, Youth Saturday. It's really hard. Honestly, it's hard. It was hard for me. But what really helped me was because I had a friend back. I'm gonna show the picture again. Um, this guy, the guy in the middle, Ren. He's one of my best friends. Oh, sorry. This guy in the middle, Ren. He's one of my best friends back then in youth, and he was the bridge because he actually joined me in teaching the kids in Sunday school. But at the same time, he's the one who helped bring me to a group in youth life. So if you are shy of finding new people, I pray that there is somebody in the community who will reach out to you and become that friend to bridge the gap. Because sometimes we cannot do it ourselves. And sometimes we're not even equipped yet. I was not equipped socially. I do not, even until now, I still find it really hard to socialize with people. I'm a super introvert. I'd rather be alone and speak to just one person at a time. But the Lord is good, and the Lord will take care of you as you journey and as you find a group that you can call home. Okay? And this guy, Ben, he brought me to this group. Yeah, he brought me to this group. Bam! I think he's smiling. Yeah, he's smiling up. Sorry, it's over here, up there. Okay, so that was our group, and this is what not to do in youth camp. You are not allowed to room hop. So if you know why there is a rule against room hopping in camp, it's most probably us because one night we just decided to come together and we stayed in one room for 3 nights. Nobody slept in their correct room except me. That was my room. So I'm innocent. Yeah, I'm innocent. But yeah, that's the that group. We bonded together, and then we actually, even though we broke the rules back then. Sorry, kuyas. But even when we broke the rules back then, when we were hanging out and we were talking all night, we were just sharing all of our struggles and all of our worries and all of our plans, our future endeavors. So all of these we started sharing to them, sharing to each other, and that's what's great about being part of a group that you can call home. Okay, okay. Comments. That was me. Didi says, that was me leaving right after youth service because no one would talk to me. I also got into certain hobbies so I could get along with others, particularly wrestling. Oh wow! Okay, so this group, I just want to share, this group also was into wrestling, but me, I'm not that into wrestling. So what happened was when they formed this group chat. It started out as a group chat to be accountable with each other, but then suddenly they started talking about wrestling and other wrestling stuff. So I started feeling left out. Again, even if you're part of a clique or a group, you can also start feeling left out. So I just decided to leave. I mean, I said no hard feelings, guys, but I don't really like wrestling. Okay? So I had to leave also, and that's okay. And again, going back, I don't want you guys to feel pressured to change who you are just to fit in a group. Okay? What's most important is that you know who you are and you know who you are in the Lord. Okay? What is one bad effect, or what is one thing that cliques are prone to? And I want to share this to you guys because I think this is important to share. It's that sometimes when you are in a clique, you will be tempted to backstab other people and backstab each other. And what are the cases when that happens? When suddenly somebody in the group starts behaving differently or weirdly, and then suddenly the other people in the group will make a secret chat. They will make a secret chat and they'll say, "Sino ba to? What? Anong ginagawa niya?" All these, they start to backstab and hurt other people, and you start feeling awkward in that group already. And then little does the person know that he's being talked to already or she is being talked to. Okay? So that's one unfortunate thing about being part of a clique, is that it's possible that backstabbing can happen a lot. And I'm sure some of you may have experiences. You may have been the one who was stabbed in the back, or you may have been the one who did the backstabbing. And um, that's a reality that happens in any kind of group, not just in church, but also in school, also in your orgs. Okay? So maybe you're part of an org, but little do you know that when you go home and your org mates stay in the tambayan, they start talking about you. They start saying wrong things about you and bad things about you. And it's hard because, again, peer pressure, because people are already talking about it, or maybe the leaders of the clique, they're having these strong opinions. It's hard to stand up for them or it's hard to talk to them, so you're gonna go along with them. And I was part of groups like that where we started backstabbing people. I did not want to feel left out, so I also backstab people, and it's really hard. It's I pray that does not happen in our youth life, fam. And it may be happening right now, but I pray that we all come to our senses. We all come to ask the Holy Spirit's leading, so that we do not hurt other people in this way. Let's not let our tightness or our closeness become the reason we backstab other people. Yun lang po, please. Okay. Joshua, I think it's important that even if we are in different friend groups or cliques, it is critical to still acknowledge others as a human. Amen. As a human being. everybody deserves to be treated with dignity and love. Everybody deserves to not be alone, right? And it's important because again, we cannot remove cliques because they're natural, but we can remove the cliquishness by not being so close, by allowing people, by inviting them, by showing them respect and showing them love, treating them like human people, like human beings. That's the most important one. So I guess those are just my thoughts. I'm just saying things out of the blue. Okay. What if a person tries to reach out but ends up feeling left out? Somebody asked that question. Um, Again, I'm gonna say it's the fault. It's the fault of the clique. It's the fault of the group because naturally cliques. You have to socially. You have to fit in a certain. You have to look a certain way, and you have to act a certain way and think a certain way. And you're an outsider. You try to reach out, but then you don't fit their their description of you or their description of what a member looks like. Okay? But if you end up feeling left out, what can you do? Well, first, practical. Okay, practical is that's why we have our accountability groups. That's why we have our Y groups. We still have that group where we can talk to. We can talk to a leader, and we can also speak to one another. We can share our concerns, share these concerns, um, and then I guess it's also a lot of praying and also a lot of waiting also because there will be people who will reach out to you. There will be people who will do that, but you also have to be open to that possibility that that will happen. Because sometimes you get discouraged. Uh, this this church or this group will never reach out to me. Akala ko ba church is a safe place for somebody who's looking for a family pero wala naman akong family. Eh, guys, I waited for 5 years. But I came to youth or I came to church because of the Lord. Uh, I put Him first. And then later on, He allowed me to have that accountability group. He allowed me to have that that friend group that I've had. But I guess that's also one of the things that I really feel for because I don't want you guys to experience being left out. And I want to say I'm sorry, or on behalf of everybody who makes you feel left out. Nobody deserves to be alone. And I want to be with you. I want Youth Life to be with you. And I'm talking to Youth Life also. I want you to be the ones, to be the better people. Reach out to these people. It's okay to have groups again, but be a bit more open. Okay? So, practical things that you can think about. Okay? Practical things that you can think about is when does a clique become toxic? I'll use the word toxic. When does a clique start becoming toxic? It's when you start compromising, when you start doing things that you're not supposed to, and if there's too much peer pressure. I guess those are clear indicators of a toxic clique. But a good clique is a clique that encourages one another, a clique that uplifts one another, and a group that dwells in the Lord together, experiences God together, and that's a really great. God designed groups. God designed friendships for this reason to build one another up, so that we can continue on to do better things. Okay, and I guess this is one. I'll just share this one last picture. This was taken in 2013. So again in 2012, I waited 5 years, and in 2012 I started opening myself up again to believing in friends. Actually, by that time, and this is a reality in youth. Youth is a very fast-paced ministry. So the problems of 4 years ago are not the problems anymore today. And the problems of today will not be the problems 4 years later. So again, I waited 5 years and the toxic people were gone. They graduated, they moved out of youth life. And I was left with a family. And I was left with the group, and we led the worship together in 2013. We led the worship during camp, and then we formed this tight bond. Uh, Back then, we practiced together. We prayed over the songs together. And there's this one time we had an overnight at my place, uh, and then they all brought their acoustic guitars and an electric and a small amp, and then our drummer was playing the drums on the keyboard. So we did that during an overnight, and there are really great things that can happen if your clique is focused on the Lord, if your group is focused on the Lord. Again, if we all focus on the Lord, we will know the right things to do. We will know when to reach out to a person. We will know how to not make others feel left out and alone. Okay, so I guess, yeah, I think I have to end in a while. Okay, so I'm just gonna read the comments. Hey, my brother says, let's build a community-sensitive friendship, friends. Yes, community-sensitive. Let's be aware of our surroundings. Let's be aware of the people who come in and need to not be alone. That's very important for all of us. Okay, let me remove the picture. Okay. All right, Pastor JP, one of my biggest hindrances it was my fear of rejection. Every time I started a new group or joined a new fellowship or any opportunity for me to be an outsider trying to go in, I always feel like people have no reason to make me part of their group. Church, however, proved me wrong, and it took time, but I got shocked pleasantly that people accepted me. Yeah, it's going to surprise you. Uh, Again, the toxic people who were there a few years ago may not be here now, or they may have changed and became better people. So you never know. But allow the Lord to journey with you through this and help you find that community you're looking for. Okay, there we go. All right. So again, is it wrong to have a clique? No. In fact, I encourage you to have one, but have a clique that is God-centered, that is Christ-centered, and one that continues to love so many people. A good clique will open their doors to people who are looking for a family. And try to be that one. If you're in a clique right now, meet up with your group, meet up with your friends, and then try to think about this. Try to evaluate the things that you've been doing as a group. Are these things healthy? Are these things excluding other people, or are you being inclusive to people? Okay. So I'll encourage all of you. Again, is it wrong to have a clique? No, but watch out for the things that may happen if you do not put Jesus Christ in the center of your group. Okay? So there. So I guess I'm going to close this time. I'm going to pray. And I'm going to lift everything up to the Lord right now. Especially our family, our group. And as you guys go through this COVID season, that's another interesting question is, what are cliques now in the time of COVID? Okay? But maybe that's for another time. Today we're going to end and we're going to pray. Okay, let's pray. Lord, thank you for giving me this time to speak and time to share my experiences with the people here online. Thank you, Lord, that you have brought us together even online just to hang out and just to share experiences with each other. I pray that you help us through this, you help us go through life together, help us be sane together, and help us just find family with each other. And Lord, lead us to the family that you want us to be in, where we will grow in you and where we will be able to glorify and worship you. Thank you, Lord, for this time. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. All right. So, again, every week we have these weekly gatherings. We have random hangouts. If you're on Discord, you can join the GCF Youth Live Discord and play random games with us. Um, or join our huddle nights every Friday, where we just come and we talk about some other topics, and we also get to pray for one another and meet with your Y groups. Express to them how it is. They can feel love in this COVID season. All right, so thank you. I'm Kuya Josh, and signing off.